On May 19, 2016, a 16-year-old girl, Yao Jinyi, was assaulted and brutally strangled to death in classroom 601 of New Oriental Foreign Language School in Beijing's Changping district. Yet what's enraging is this. That very night, Yao's mother, who was out of town, had already noticed her daughter's disappearance and repeatedly pleaded with school officials to call the police, only to be irresponsibly ignored. Even more bizarre? After the death, Yao's body remained stored in a freezer at the Beijing Municipal Public Security Bureau's Forensic Center for nearly 2 years. While the case stalled without resolution. How could a seemingly straightforward criminal case with conclusive evidence be prolonged? What kind of influence was at work? At approximately 6:30 a.m. on May 20, 2016, 4 male students at Beijing New Oriental Foreign Language School discovered a body of a young woman in classroom 601. In a state of panic, they immediately called the police. Soon after, both the police and medical responders arrived at the scene. Police investigation revealed the victim was a student named Yao Jinyi, only 16 years old. She lay lifeless on the classroom floor, her face contorted in agony, clothes torn, body covered in bruises. Dried blood stained her nose and mouth, while distinct strangulation marks were visible on her neck. Additionally, forensic examination revealed clear bruising around her genital area. Based on these findings, medical examiners preliminarily concluded Yao had been assaulted before being strangled to death. As police processed the scene, Yao's mother arrived. Upon learning of her daughter's death, she collapsed emotionally, repeatedly murmuring one haunting sentence: "How could he be so cruel?" This immediately drew police attention. Who was this he she referred to? Did she know something about the criminal? Seeking answers, investigators brought Yao's mother to the police station for questioning. Based on the clues provided by Yao's mother, police learned that at 8:48 p.m. on May 19, 2016, the night before the death, mother and daughter were still chatting on WeChat. Yao Jinyi had asked her mother for some money to buy things. But midway through their conversation, the girl suddenly stopped responding. After a long silence, Yao's mother assumed her daughter was upset and proceeded to transfer the money. Yet Yao Jinyi never acknowledged receipt. The transferred funds remained unclaimed. Yao's mother knew her daughter well. She never left messages unanswered for long. Even when unexpected situations arose, she would always send a quick update to her mother. This sudden silence felt ominous. A mother's intuition whispered that something was terribly wrong. Yet she clung to hope. Perhaps Yao was simply caught up in some urgent matter. After agonizing, Yao's mother wrestled with growing dread, forcing herself to believe in ordinary explanations, even as her heart screamed otherwise. But before long, the dorm supervisor called with alarming news. Yao Jinyi had violated curfew and couldn't be reached. The words hung in the air like an unspoken verdict. That simple phone call confirmed every mother's nightmare. Her child had truly vanished into the darkness of that school night. Frantic with worry, Yao's mother bombarded her daughter's phone with endless calls and messages, all met with eerie silence. Meanwhile, the dorm supervisor received a peculiar text message from Wang Yizha, a male student at the school. "Yao Jinyi is with me. Her phone died. We are safe. Don't worry." At 12:42 a.m. on May 20, the dorm supervisor contacted Yao's mother to relay the text message contents. With bureaucratic indifference, they stated, "Yao Jinyi has violated school regulations by leaving campus with a male classmate without permission. Please ensure she understands this behavior is unacceptable and won't happen again." Upon hearing this, Yao's mother urgently pressed for details. Who exactly is Jinyi with right now? The teacher revealed the name, a male student named Wang Yizha. At that moment, a cold sweat broke out across Yao's mother's body. The name struck terror in her heart. Yao had previously confided in her about this very boy. Yao's mother felt a chill run down her spine when she heard Wang Yizha's name. Her daughter had confided in her before about this boy, how he persistently harassed her, spreading malicious rumors at school that tarnished her reputation. The situation had become so unbearable that Yao Jinyi finally snapped, resulting in a physical altercation between them. Trapped in constant anxiety, The terrified girl had begged her mother to transfer schools. Seeing the semester was nearly over, Yaro's mother considered to apply to transfer in the next semester. When she heard that all too familiar name, she said, "That's impossible. That boy once threatened to destroy my daughter. There's no way she would willingly go out with him at night." Her voice trembled with a mother's intuition as she urged the teacher to investigate properly. But the teacher dismissed her concerns indifferently and hastily ended the call. Every fiber of her being screamed that something was terribly wrong. Fearing the worst for her daughter, Yaro's mother made the desperate overnight journey from her hometown in Dongying, Shandong province to Beijing, a 7-hour drive fueled by maternal dread. On the way to Beijing, she desperately called multiple teachers, pleading with them to call the police and help search for her daughter. But the responses she received were variations of the same dismissive reassurance. "Don't worry. Wang Yizhe isn't that bad. They'll surely return by tomorrow." Yaro's mother pushed the speed limit on the dark highway, her only thought to reach the school as fast as possible to find her daughter. It wasn't until 6:40 a.m. the next morning, May the 20th, that the school finally called her back. But instead of reassurance, they delivered the devastating news. Her daughter had been killed. After hearing Yaro's mother's account, police immediately focused their investigation on the student Wang Yizhe. If her testimony held true, as the last person seen with Yaro Jinyi, he would naturally be the prime suspect. Yet just as police were preparing to question him, something unexpected happened. Wang Yizhe voluntarily came forward to the authorities. What happened? At around 7 a.m. on May 20, Wang Yizhe used his mother's phone to call the police and confess. Over the phone, Wang told the police, "I committed negligent homicide." His voice was filled with panic and self-reproach. Shortly after, Wang voluntarily went to the Changping police station in Beijing to give his account of the incident. At the Changping police station, Wang Yizhe explained to the police. He and Yaro Jinyi were mutually attracted and had consensual relations. But for some reason, Yaro later changed her mind and threatened to report the matter to their teachers. When Wang heard Yaro wanted to tell the teachers, he feared being falsely accused of assault. He then got into a physical altercation with Yaro Jinyi. In the chaos, he claimed to have accidentally injured Yaro. However, Wang insisted he never intended to kill her. He stated that when he left, Yaro was still breathing. The police then decided to conduct a thorough investigation into Wang's statements. While the police were immersed in their investigation, Wang's mother was also busy. She contacted Yaro's mother, offering to pay 1 million yuan as compensation. But this came with a condition. Yaro's mother had to write a letter of forgiveness. Wang's mother hoped to settle the matter privately without going through legal procedures. However, Yaro's mother, grieving the loss of her beloved daughter, flatly rejected Mrs. Wang's request. After this failed negotiation, Wang's mother never contacted Yaro's mother again. And Wang Yizhe never offered an apology to Yaro Jinyi or her mother. As the investigation progressed, something baffling occurred. Whether due to the wealthy and influential Wang family's undisclosed methods or the police's acceptance of Wang Yizhe's confession, the autopsy report issued by police contained only a brief statement. Yaro Jinyi died of mechanical asphyxiation caused by neck compression by another person. The fact that Yaro had been assaulted was completely omitted. Moreover, when Yaro's mother requested to see the detailed version of the autopsy report, the police denied. Faced with such unfair treatment, Yaro's mother vowed she would spare no cost to make Wang Yizhe pay. While Yaro Jinyi's crime was an established fact, the key issue was Wang Yizhe's insistence that he and Yaro were in a relationship, and that Yaro's death was accidental. If this were true, it would only constitute the crime of negligent homicide, and Wang Yizhe would receive a lighter sentence. However, if Wang's claims were disproven, he would face combined charges of criminal assault and intentional homicide, punishable by either the death penalty or life imprisonment. Therefore, whether their relationship was truly consensual became absolutely crucial to the entire case. Yaro's mother realized the Wang family's strategy. They were trying every possible means to reduce Wang Yizhe's charges by deliberately obscuring the true nature of his relationship with Yaro Jinyi, in order to whitewash Wang Yizhe's crimes. Wang Yizhe's confession had completely distorted the nature of the case. As Yaro Jinyi's mother, She couldn't stand by and watch her daughter die in vain while the murderer escaped proper punishment. So Yaro's mother shut down the company, sold all her family's assets, and sought out forensic experts and lawyers in Shanghai, Chongqing, and Wuhan to obtain justice for Yaro Jinyi. After enduring hardships beyond ordinary imagination, Yaro's mother finally succeeded in overturning the previous forensic conclusions and establishing Wang Yizhi's guilt. At the same time, she found Yaro Jinyi's classmates to testify that Wang Yizhi and Yaro Jinyi were never in a relationship. Furthermore, prosecutors used technical means to recover Wang Yizhi and Yaro Jinyi's communication records, which also proved no relationship existed between them. After a year-long legal battle, on June 26, 2017, Beijing Intermediate People's Court issued its criminal verdict regarding Wang Yizhi's crimes. The court's investigation confirmed Wang Yizhi was convicted of multiple crimes including intentional homicide and rape, and was sentenced to life imprisonment, with permanent deprivation of political rights. However, even after the verdict was announced, Wang Yizhi remained unrepentant and resolutely filed an appeal. After Wang Yizhi appealed, his mother began pulling all the strings. She sought out many legal friends, and even personally visited the administration of New Oriental School, making thorough preparations to overturn her son's conviction. On the morning of February 8, 2018, the second trial of Yaro Jinyi's case began. Wang Yizhi's defense lawyer pleaded not guilty for him, attempting to overturn both the rape and intentional homicide charges. They presented new evidence in court, including a plea statement from New Oriental School certifying Wang Yizhi's good behavior at school, a testimonial from Wang's homeroom teacher Mr. Zhong, stating Wang Yizhi had excellent academic performance, obeyed school rules and got along with classmates, and never violated school regulations. It also included Wang's outstanding transcript from the 2016 semester. The class schedules for Wang's Class 4 and Yaro's Class 5 on May 19, 2016, showing they shared a peer class, indicating possible contact between them. Wang's defense lawyer boldly speculated that during the PE class, Yaro Jinyi might have accepted Wang's advances, and the two had become lovers. Additionally, a forensic expert testified for Wang, analyzing whether Yaro had been assaulted. The expert claimed the injuries on Yaro's private parts didn't result from assault, but from consensual activity, thus defending Wang's position. Due to the complexity of the new evidence, the court didn't announce a verdict immediately. Yaro's mother was shocked by everything that happened during the appeal. How could the Wang family be so shameless, still trying every means to justify Wang Yizhi's crimes? Shocked as she was, Yaro's mother realized she couldn't just sit and wait. She thought there might be diaries or other items among Yaro Jinyi's belongings that could help the case. Thus, Yaro's mother planned to go to the school to collect her daughter's belongings and negotiate with the school to obtain the surveillance footage from classroom 601 on the night of May 19, 2016. At 9:50 a.m. on April 1, 2018, Yaro's mother went to the school to retrieve her daughter's belongings. Under the supervision of 3 school officials and 6 security guards, with the whole process being recorded, Zhong Yaming, director of the school's logistics department, personally removed the seal from Yaro Jinyi's dorm room 307. Strangely, the original police seal on the dorm door had disappeared, replaced by a handwritten one with the school's official stamp. The school explained that it might have been stolen by renovation workers in July 2017. What an absurd excuse. Inside the dorm, Yaro's mother found most of her daughter's belongings missing, with clear signs that the floor had just been cleaned. Seeing all this, Yaro's mother had a bold suspicion. The Wang family might have bribed the school to dispose of Yaro Jinyi's belongings in advance. Yaro's mother worried that the surveillance footage from the night of the incident might also be gone, but she still tried asking Zhong Yaming about it. However, Zhong claimed that classroom 601 had been abandoned long ago, and its surveillance cameras hadn't been in use. Naturally, Yaro's mother didn't believe this, which deepened her suspicion that the school had been bribed by the Wang family. Yet she had no direct evidence to prove this, leaving her feeling like she had swallowed a bitter pill but couldn't speak of it. After these experiences at the school, Yaro's mother refused to be brushed off so easily. So at 9:20 a.m. on April 2nd, she returned to the school to demand answers, only to be driven away by Zhong Yaming. Left with no choice, She sat on the railing at the school entrance and shouted, "My daughter was killed in classroom 601. My child is dead. If this happened to you, what would you do?" The commotion grew so loud that it caught the attention of school administrators. In front of them, security guards forcibly removed Yaro's mother until she fell to the ground, unable to move. She was then taken to Changping Hospital for treatment. Later, Yaro's mother returned to the school many times, but was always refused. The school maintained silence about Yao Jinyi's case. While Yaro's mother was treated coldly as she fought for justice, Mrs. Wang received so much support from the school during the appeal. Was there some shady deal behind this? Even more heartbreaking. On April 3rd, Yaro's mother was in so much pain from her injuries during the school's expulsion that she couldn't even get out of bed. She couldn't personally go to the forensic center to retrieve her daughter Yao Jinyi's remains. That night, she lay awake in anguish. At this point, isolated and helpless, Yaro's mother thought there was no hope left. But just when she was in utter despair, Wang Yizha's classmates came forward and provided much evidence about Wang, helping this grieving mother. One of Wang Yizha's classmates managed to contact Yao's mother and provided numerous WeChat group chat screenshots involving Wang. The classmate told Yao's mother that Wang Yizha was a playboy who had formed a loser squad at school, appointing himself as the leader. At school, Wang was practically a delinquent, smoking, drinking, skipping classes, promiscuity, bullying classmates, completely a bad student. In the eyes of his classmates, Yao Jinyi was a very talented girl. Coupled with her beauty, she had attracted the attention of many male students soon after enrolling. The students at this school generally came from middle-class or wealthy families. Most planned to study abroad after high school or once their language skills were sufficient, arranged by their parents. As a result, the school had many rich second-generation students like Wang Yizha. Because his family was wealthy, Wang idled through school, frequently dating different female classmates. Everything changed when he saw Yao Jinyi performing at the school's New Year's Eve party. He was instantly smitten and began pursuing her. When Yao rejected him, Wang enlisted the help of Yao's roommate, Liu Zilin, to persuade her. But Yao still refused. Wang then devised a plan to take her by force. On the night of the incident, Liu Zilin, acting on Wang's request, lured Yao Jinyi to classroom 601. Since New Oriental School had two-person dormitories and Liu was Yao's only roommate, Yao trusted her completely. Based on the classmate's account, Yao's mother discovered that the timing of Liu Zilin's call with Yao Jinyi almost exactly matched the time of Yao's death. Unfortunately, there was no way to know the content of their conversation that night. Armed with this lead, Yao's mother immediately submitted the WeChat chat records and testimony provided by the classmate to the prosecutors. After further investigation, the prosecution made a major discovery. In the early hours of the day of the crime, around 4 a.m., Wang Yizha had sent a WeChat message to a female student named Liu Yuza, confessing that he had killed Yao Jinyi. Liu Yuza replied that she would delete all communications related to Wang and Yao from April up to the day of the incident from her phone. Liu Yuza later admitted on social media and to the police that she had deleted the records, claiming she was terrified. Regrettably, the prosecution stated that Liu Zilin and Liu Yuza's actions could not be legally punished at this time, as there was no evidence proving they knew in advance about Wang's plans to commit the crime and provided assistance. However, based on the leads provided by Yao's mother, the prosecution challenged the evidence presented by Wang's defense lawyer during the appeal and reinvestigated Wang's behavior at school. While awaiting the appeal verdict, Yao's mother registered a Weibo account in her daughter's name, publishing multiple articles and offering to help other mothers in similar situations free of charge. One line on the Weibo profile resonated deeply with many mothers. When children lose the chance to speak for themselves, their closest loved ones must fight for justice for their tragedy. Many netizens expressed admiration for Yao's mother's perseverance and marveled at the power of a mother's love. Society at large began paying attention to the developments in Yao Jinyi's case. Meanwhile, the Beijing People's Procuratorate invited a panel of nationally renowned experts to form a 5-party discussion, supplementing the previous forensic findings in the case. After the discussion, the experts unanimously concluded that Yao Jinyi had indeed been assaulted before her death, and refuted the evidence provided by Wang's lawyer during the appeal. On May 19, 2021, the appeal verdict was finally issued. The Beijing High People's Court ruled, after investigation, multiple witnesses confirmed that the victim and the defendant were not in a romantic relationship and lacked the emotional basis for consensual relations. The teaching building was a public space unsuitable for such acts. The victim's injuries proved they resulted from violent coercion by the defendant. The evidence confirms the victim died of mechanical asphyxiation due to neck compression, and Wang Yizhe took no measures to save her, sufficiently proving the defendant desired her death. Thus, the Procuratorate rejected Wang Yizhe's appeal and upheld the original first instance verdict. Wang was ultimately sentenced to life imprisonment with permanent deprivation of political rights. The appeal ruling served as the final judgment. After 5 long years, Yao Jini's case finally concluded. Following the verdict, Yao's mother, as the victim's mother, called on national legislators, educational authorities, and society at large to pay attention to campus violence. Yao Jini's case demonstrates that disregard for life is the root of countless tragedies. Only those who respect others and value life can avoid posing threats and harm to others and society. Education about life should begin at home and be reinforced in schools to prevent such tragedies. Not like Wang Yizhe's mother, who sought to obscure the truth to protect her son at all costs. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this case, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow Case Diaries. There are plenty more cases coming your way. Got thoughts on today's story? Drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. See you in the next one.